What's the time frame when things go nuts in our world, really nuts? How long will it take until all of the normal people, the average people, the 80% of humans, or I would even say the 90 or 95% of humans who just go along with things, how quickly will they do some really crazy stuff? And I think it'll be pretty darn quickly. If you look at the situation in 2020, if you are a person watching this who believes that it was a truly a horrible, panicky kind of thing, and everybody should have been scared, and everything should have been locked down, and all these home arrest and all this, if you believe all that should have happened, fine. I mean, I disagree with you, but go along with this. Things got nuts real fast. Like people just fell in line with what the authorities said to do. And then I'm thinking now that trying to think of his name. He has that they teased him, Mr. Orange Man or whatever. Whoever the guy who's president now is really excited about doing tariffs on American people to make products more expensive, so that people are more likely to buy even more expensive American products. When I say American, I don't mean North American, because Canada and Mexico aren't included in America when the word American is used in this context for some strange reason. But people are supposed to buy from United States government jurisdiction companies and such. And this guy, Trump is the guy. He says, let's do this. Let's do these tariffs against these people. And right away, everybody steps in line. Let's deport all the felon people who are here illegally, who haven't gone through the bureaucratic paperwork to be here. Let's get rid of them. And then that starts happening. And let's fire some federal workers. And some of that happens. And we all have local headlines about, oh, the local Forest Service is losing so many people. And there's always the tearjerker, poor John had just, gotten on. He'd been on for a year and he was excited about this opportunity because he cares about the national forest. And now he doesn't know how he's going to feed his family or what he's going to do. And there are all these stories. Things happen quickly. I forget who I said, John, Jeremy, whatever, that my example of the Forest Service dude, his life changed drastically. And I have compassion for him. Yeah, he shouldn't have been working for the government in the first place. Yeah, he should have realized that all government employees, regardless of what they do, whether I like what they do or not, they're getting paid with money that was stolen. And that's not a cool way to go about making a living. I understand that. But I still have compassion for the guy. He woke up one morning and all of a sudden his future had been completely changed. Now he has to go out and do productive things, and he has to find people who are willing to pay him rather than having the government take it from people by force. That's a big change for him. For the person who had a gym and they wanted to be able to have people stay healthy, when the COVID scare came out and all the gyms had to shut down, that person's livelihood it went upside down. They lost their business, all the momentum they'd been building up. And I'm not saying everybody suffered from it. Some people suffered a little bit and then committed suicide. But I'm saying that the people who didn't commit suicide, who were still alive, their lives, if you ask them now, they changed rapidly. I think the same will be true if Trump says, okay, our enemy is flip a quarter and okay, it's Mexico or Iran or Germany or whomever it is. Very quickly, people will start to hate. When I say people, I mean the people around here, people in the United States government's jurisdiction. They will start to hate the Germans or Mexicans or Iranians or Chinese or whoever they're supposed to hate. And they will immediately fall for all of the propaganda. And things that weren't even on anyone's mind the day before, all the news outlets, and I know it's not all mainstream news now, but all the influencers. Joe Rogan will have on that guy who used to be in the CIA with a long, shaggy hair, charismatic, awesome dude who you really enjoy listening to, who always has a way of saying, I just don't trust the government. And then he comes around in his conversation to saying, it's important that the government's there and we need to all be obedient to them. And anyway, those kinds of people will come out and will all of a sudden be attacking. And I know you've known this a long time. These Chinese people, they go out there and their rice grains that they make are just so small. And I don't like to talk badly about anybody, but these people have just, we've known for years they've been a problem, and we have tried to help them. We've tried to give them foreign aid, and we've tried to help them, and they're not coming around. And at some point, we have to defend ourselves. We have to defend our values. And all of a sudden, Americans will hate the Chinese, or that could have been the Mexicans, or the Eskimos, or whomever it is that the powers who be decide to go after. It'll go off quick. And there are things leading up to it. I would say this is a lot like, for those of you who had spent any time in the pen, I'm not even the state pen, but like a county jail or whatever. I spent about 2 years there as a jailer. And you could ask my partners in there. When I say partners, I mean the other people who had to spend a bunch of time there, both the inmates and the other deputies. You can ask any of us, how quickly would a riot go off? Pretty quickly. Now, did people have an inkling ahead of time that something was up? Was there tension? Yeah. The heavies were all getting together and talking, and you could tell that they were tense with each other, and you could tell something was going to kick off. But when it actually happened, the average person watching 2 seconds beforehand would have had no idea what was about to happen. And I think the same is true with things on a national, international level. I have no clue what's going to happen. I think it's very likely that things in a year and in 5 years and in 20 years will be a lot like they've been the last 100 years. There's a good chance that'll happen. There's also a pretty decent chance that there could be absolute genocidal, race-based or religion-based war that like comes to my hometown, like that is happening everywhere. There could be the time that comes that says, hey, have you ever heard a neighbor who said something about they think that nationalism or patriotism isn't a good idea? Well, that person gave you a hint that you need to go burn their house down. Well, my house is going to get burned down. There are lots of people in my area who are very much nationalist, or at least patriots, and they take pride in that. They think it's the correct stance, and they're not trying to be bad guys. They just really believe that. And they're not cool with me saying, oh, no, I'm not going to pledge allegiance to the government's flag. I'm not going to stand up when people sing that song that the government's like. No, I'm not a nationalist. I'm not a patriot. I'm a human guy. Like, I like other human beings who are cool. I don't like uncool ones, but cool ones I like. That's who I am. Well, you don't think they're going to come down on me, lickety split? That is such a huge danger. For those of you who are smart and don't put all your thoughts out there on the YouTubes and on the Facebooks and all that, it's really smart of you. Keep that stuff close to your chest. It's too late for me. I've put it all out there. People who know who I am. If the tides ever turn against me in a strong way or my way of thinking, I'm a goner. It's not like I'm going to be able to keep it from happening. I don't expect that to happen. I hope that things just kind of keep going on as they have. And every 4 years, everybody starts hating each other again. And, oh my gosh, this is just awful. And can you believe we have never had a president as horrible as this Trump guy or the chameleon gal, whoever, Kenneal. Oh, nobody's ever been as bad as her. No, she just wasn't bright. She was crooked. But she's a politician. You don't think Trump is incredibly bright or he's a guy who really cares? Like, this blows me away. I hear all these people saying, like they know, like they can look inside some billionaire politician's head. Well, Trump doesn't, he's not like the other ones. He really cares about people getting along with each other and just everybody speaking English or, whatever it is the person heard on Fox News the night before. They're regurgitating this and they think they know how Trump thinks and feels. No, you don't. And you don't know how Biden thinks or feels. You don't know how any of the political class do. Why don't you? Why don't I? Their job is to pull the wool over other people's heads. Like, their job isn't to go out and be completely honest. They know what gets votes. They all know what to say. What do you say? Let me quiz you here. If you're a politician and then you have some corruption thing happen or just something happens that you have to leave office early, why are you leaving office? Because you want to spend more time with your family and you feel like you've done a lot of good work, but it's time to pass on the torch to another person. You just really have some other personal things you want to focus on. Well, of course that's what you're going to say. And you're going to say that because the people in the past have said the same thing. It's the thing to say. It's part of what that industry does. So to think that Kenneal really wanted I don't know, Eskimo rights or whatever. No, she didn't. To really think that Trump cares about energy lasting for a long time because he cares about hardworking Americans being able to fill up their pickup trucks with gas. No, he doesn't care. Like, he wants his kids and his grandkids to have a good life. He wants humanity to go on okay, I'm guessing. Like, I haven't seen anything that shows me he's like some evil guy who hates humanity. No, he wants that stuff just like everybody does. But he doesn't have these awesome good intentions that some people think he does. And so when I'm hearing my conservative friends, and even a lot of capital L libertarian friends who are really more conservatives, they just want to be a little different, so they call themselves libertarians. They are happy. Oh, good. The Doge committee is going after things, and they got rid of. Can you believe blah blah blah? And then it's like less than 1% of the annual expenditure. Like, that's tiny. That's nothing. That's a rounding error. You show me a 10% or a 20% or a 30% reduction in something, now maybe we're talking, but you're not going to see that. Trump's going to do what he did last time. He's going to spend more. He's going to be a big spender. The three biggest spending presidents of the last, I don't know, I guess ever, maybe because of inflation, but Obama, Biden, and Trump, they were the biggest spenders. And it's not like it's going to be different this time around. Yeah, he'll cut out $1 billion through the USAID, whatever. Yeah, okay. He's shutting down these. No, he's not. You don't think that same work is still going to be done by undercover agencies or whatever? Like, people we don't even think about. We don't even think about the EPA having a hardcore unit. But what if they did? What if the EPA had some people who had an IQ over 90? And they were also kind of tough guys. They could do like over 5 push-ups. What if they got together and formed some sort of a special weapons and tactics team, and then they decided, hey, we want to be spooks? I mean, that could happen with a lot of different agencies. And I don't think it would be the EPA, but like a competent agency could very well do that. I'm sure that there are all kinds of tough guys throughout all the government agencies. All this stuff is going to continue. It's not like we're in this new age of honesty and goodness and loveliness. No, don't fall for that. My point is, things are not uniquely special right now. When things go off, when things go crazy, I don't know if it'll be with this president or the next one or the next one or the next one, but when they do, I suspect, based on what I've observed in human behavior, I think it's going to kick off pretty quickly. I think that most people aren't going to have a chance to really get their feet under them. It's not like they're going to be able to say, oh, I should probably order 365 cans of tuna to survive for the next year. I don't think there's going to be time for that. I think it's going to kick off very quickly. And then by the time everybody realizes that it's not just a little blip, it's going to be too late for so many people. And I'm not saying the whole civilization is going to get wiped out. There'll just be a big correction. Humanity's going to have a little reset, I think. And again, I hope it's 100 years from now, or 200 or 300. And I'm saying that selfishly. It'd probably be better for everybody. Not everybody. Probably be better for my grandkids if stuff got nuts for the next 10, 20 years, and then they were able to rebuild something good out of it. It's probably better than kicking the can down the road. But I figure I've got another 10, 20, 30 years at best left to live. So I'm kind of hoping to just ride that out comfortably. And I know that's selfish and short-sighted and such, but yeah, that's my hope. Let's hope it never kicks off. Let's hope everybody just starts getting along and starts realizing we're all just human critters walking around on this spinning rock. Let's play nicely. Let's be honest. Let's make sure everything's consensual. Let's make sure everything's voluntary. I hope that's what happens.
If you feel the vibe, we invite you to join our tribe. Please subscribe.